Oh, why is America obsessed with the mafia? Why are you obsessed with the mafia, eh? In this week's episode, Tony's Topics. Okay, hey, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so the mob, it's got us by the good guts. Why is that? Why are we as Americans, and really the world over, so in love with the mafia and the whole allure, the Hollywood, the everything? There's a reason why. 5 reasons. Here we go. Number 5. The family paradox. So I think, at the heart of every great mafia story isn't just a heist, but it's at the dinner table, right? It's about the idea of omerta, right? And the fierce, unwavering loyalty to the family. Capisci strunzate? Hey, ascoltami, to the family. So there's a brotherhood, and I think even though it's the paradox, right? The mafia says, you are family to their brethren, but they're whacking everybody left and right. So, but the idea, right? Especially in the early years of the mafia in America. Now, listen, every country, every culture has their mafia, organized crime, but there's something about the Italian mafia that just hits that chord. You know what I mean? So, comment below. What's your favorite mafia movie? Now, obviously, we're not saying, we're not condoning, we're not glorifying the mob. That's bad. We don't do that. But America's obsessed with it, right? The Sopranos, The Godfather, Goodfellas, on and on and on. So I don't know that Americans or people the world over want and glorify the horrors of it. We kind of sift that out, and we love, again, the ethos of family, right? Hey, you with the family now, right? Capisci? Hey, tu sono famiglia, no? Hey, okay, setta. So there's something about that brotherhood. And you see that really across all kind of organized crime lines, right? Whether it be a motorcycle gang or the, Asian gangs, the Irish gangs, the South American gangs, the African gangs. There's something about that, the street gangs, right? Something about the quote unquote the brotherhood, the family of it, The second or 4, I would say, would be the perceived code of honor, right? As much as they're breaking the law, there's honor within the law breaking, right? Like in the early mafia, in the early 1900s, in the 1910s, 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, 1950s. There was a perceived code of honor. Like, hey, we don't hurt children, we don't hurt women, we don't sell drugs. We don't sell drugs. Well, that changed. But anyways, there was almost kind of a, if you will, a cleanliness to it. It was, we run numbers, we gamble, we do the vice stuff, but we're not moving bricks of heroin. You know what I mean? We're not killing en masse. But obviously, that's changed. But anyways, there's that perceived code of honor, right? We don't rat on each other. You got my back, I got your back. Family first. Hey, we're together in this. This thing of ours. So there's the perceived thing of honor, right? And then we got the migrant story. Now, listen, I'm of Italian descent, and you don't have to be Italian to understand this. America's made of what? Immigrants. We're all immigrants. Only the American Indian is a true indigenous American. You can say you were born here. I get that. But we all have lineage that is immigrants. And I know my family, my parents are first generation. My mother is from Naples, Italy. So, Albolino, ma cagazze, why? So, but yeah, I mean, there's that story of the immigrants coming over here and all they got is each other, and they're going to look out for each other's back. Because America is a scary place. It's a big place. So the mafia is often viewed as a twisted version of the American dream. It's a story of people who started with nothing and worked their way up. You saw the bootstraps. And the mafia is interwoven in that. Obviously, the mafia did things a little bit not straight and narrow, but it is interwoven into the fabric of the American immigrant. 3 or 4, 2, I don't know. The glamour of the golden age, like I talked about before. There's something romantic about the 1920s, right? 1930s, 1940s, dapper dress, the big, beautiful automobiles, the code, right? The honor, the family, we didn't sell drugs, you live around us, we take care of everybody, there was that structure to it. Everything was predictable. If you got whacked, you had to go to the commission and get the blessings of all the 4 or 5 bosses. You couldn't just go whacking people willy-nilly. So there was this predictability. The golden era of Hollywood kind of almost coincides with the golden era of the mafia, I can tell you this as an Italian American: if you go to Italy and you call someone a mafioso or a mafia, that's like calling a black person the N word. Like Italians in Italy, nope. That'll you'll get slapped right there. It's on right there. Like, yeah. So the worst insult you can call an Italian in Italy would be mafioso. They don't take kind to it, and So but in America, it's the moral complexity, which is our next one. Moral complexity of the anti-hero hero, right? Movies like The Godfather, shows The Sopranos, stuff like that. The bad guys, we see them as fathers, husbands, neighbors, dealing in everyday anxieties with their kids and school functions. And Americans love the internal conflict of how can someone be a loving parent on one hand, but then be the boss on the next, So these mafiosa movies especially, and in reality too. I mean, someone's in the mafia, presumably, right? They have family, right? They have kids, they have grandparents, again, the immigrant story. So in many ways, they are us, if you will, but they're not us, but they are us. So we can see a little bit of a hazy mirror image. And that's, I think, why we are in love with the mafia too sometimes, I think the other reason why we love the mafia is that we are able to rebel through these movies or through these men, that these men, don't we all wish we could tell our boss, fuck you, or we could tell the police officer, fuck off, or the CEO, fuck off, or, our superior, go fuck off. Well, that is the ethos, I think, of the mafia, that they're not going to take it. Fuck you, we do what we want, and there's something freeing about that. Obviously, you shouldn't be telling the law to fuck off, but the agency, the freedom, the autonomy of, we do what we want, also, I would say justice, instant power, right? In The Godfather 1, what happens? The man goes to the Godfather, Don Corleone, and begs him in the beginning of the movie, please get justice for my daughter. I believe she was like sexually assaulted or raped or something. And, they didn't have the legal parameters to arrest this guy because there was no quote unquote proof, but everybody knew the guy did it. You know what I mean? So the justice system couldn't provide justice, but the mafia did, so there's something about a weird justice, with the mob. It's quick, it's certain, it's done, no problem. We got it, boom, done, next day. That guy was taken care of in the Godfather, right? So, and I'm not advocating that, but I'm saying that we yearn for quick justice, or justice, period. Because today, even today, I mean, anytime, right? You could take someone to court, you can file a police report, call the cops, and it's like, okay, your court case will be happening in 4 years from now. We'll let you know your docket number. 4 years, 3 years, next year. Holy shit, like this person wronged me and everybody knows it. And they know it too, and so there's something about that instant justice. And I'm not even necessarily saying whacking the person, but like, hey, you owe this boy some money? You gonna fucking pay him, all right? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, don't let it happen again. Like, wow, don't we wish we all had that? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's right to do that, but there's something about that quick justice, and only really billionaires get quick justice. The rest of us schlebs have to, wait in line and all that shit, So there's something like, yeah, wow, quick justice, and where the legal system is about legality, you can make the argument in the golden era in the movies, the mob's about morality, the justice in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, so family and rules, we talked about that. Money, come on, right? We all love the mob because the boats and the cars and the restaurants and the fancy suits and the jewelry. It's a fashion show, especially the Italian Mafia. And who doesn't love Italy, honestly? Like, it's whether you like it or not, it's interwoven in the Italian mob movies. Notice we don't really, indulge or celebrate the Portuguese mob or the Brazilian mob or the Japanese or the Chinese or the Filipino mob. No, it's something about Italy by itself, right? The music, the movies, the women, the fashion, the food, Leonardo da Vinci, Luciano Pavarotti. It just exudes love. Nobody, I've been around the world, and nobody says anything bad about Italy. Everybody, no matter where you go, oh my God, Italy, Italy, Italy. There are people who talk a lot of shit about other countries, but not Italy. So you mesh that with the mafia. It's like, how do you not love the mob in the movies? So like that. So there's something interwoven about the Italian mob. Again, tutta famiglia, la musica, la vida dolce. It's interwoven. And again, obviously, don't break the law, don't join organized crime, but this is the interwovenness of especially what we see in the news and in the media and in movies for certain. So fame is another issue, like it or not, infamous, but, there's something that we, as Americans, we love fame, even if it's not good, but fame, oh my God, that Godfather, that capo regime, and that, captain, and that family, like, oh my God, even though we know it's fire, don't touch it, but there's something about it, that fame, so to speak, and then, so like I said, the fashion, the culture. What do you guys like about the way Hollywood and the media portrays the mob, and what don't you like? Obviously, right? You shouldn't hurt people. You shouldn't kill people. You shouldn't, do those things. But there's that, again, that pop culture, that excitement around it that makes us just love the mafia, especially as it's portrayed in movies. And so put in the comment section below, what do you think about, what's your favorite mob movie? Mine was, you got to go Godfather 1, right? I mean, someone told me that they thought Godfather 2 was better. I was like, really, dude? But yeah, growing up in northern New Jersey, and the New York City area, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I mean, you saw some stuff around you, you know what I mean, that you question. But yeah, so again, no one's saying we should go into that life, but why is that allure? Why do Americans love it so much? Put in the comment section below. Don't forget, Tony's Topics, like, subscribe. Hey, I'm out of here. Bye. Ciao, 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 ciao.